Hello everybody, my name is Aristides and I'm currently managing the entrepreneurial program at UPM. So just let me spend some minutes with you trying to talk about an idea validation. When you have an idea and you want to share this idea with others, you have to be very careful of what kind of messages are you trying to launch to your audience, right? Normally, if the audience is not really dangerous, it's your friends or your familiars, okay, it's not really a very big challenge. But if you're talking with an investor, then the challenge is really much higher. So, what are the main topics for idea validation? When you're talking with an investor, you have to take into notice that the investor wants to discard you as soon as possible. It's just a matter of professional efficiency, right? A professional investor can't receive more than 1,000 new projects every year, and he or she cannot spend quite a lot of time trying to understand your idea, your business model. So be very concrete, try to understand that the investor is willing to know the real value proposition from your project. So try to train these topics before you talk with these interesting profiles. What are the main topics of idea validation? So just try to answer these 4 questions. First question, what is your idea related with, right? So when we are engineers, when we are technology people, when we are people really willing to work with technology or products, we tend to talk quite a lot about the product, about the technology, right? So think this really right now. When you're talking about product, your investor is understanding costs, expenses, is understanding how much money he will have to pay for this development, and this is not very attractive. It's much interesting, it's much effective if you talk about customers, because when you talk about customers, the investor is understanding incomes. How is he going to have his money back, right? So when you are answering the question what, right, think that you may have this customer orientation. What does customer orientation means? Remember, just 3 points. First one, describe the pain, right? Describe the pain. So just try to analyze what's the real need that you have discovered from companies and from end users, right? The real pain they have, the real problems they have is the best way to start your pitch with your investor, right? Second, say who is willing to pay for the solution of that problem. Okay, you have discovered a problem, but you have to argue if there is really a need for paying for that solution, right? So who is willing to pay? How do you discover that? It's a very good thing if you find that there are competitors. If there are competitors, you may understand that there are real companies making real money trying to solve this problem. That's point number 2. And 3, okay, let's celebrate that we have found competitors, because that means that there is money involved, that there is a market, right? But point number 3, you must define your competitive advantage. Why you will be eligible from all the alternatives that there are in that a customer may find in the market, right? So okay, let's celebrate that there are competitors. That was point number 2, but in point number 3 you may define why are you different, why you will be eligible. So remember, the first question, what, is customer orientation, and customer orientation are these 3 points. Second question, who? Who is involved in this project? Who is promoting these business ideas? We always tend also to make a list of the members, right? A list of the members meet, okay, this is my friend, he's also an engineer, this is also my other friend, this is my colleague, that is the guy that is really devoted to the marketing and sales, and we are a team of 3. Guys, this is not enough. A list of 3 people is not just enough. 3, 5 or whatever, a list is not enough for the investor. When you are answering the question who, you may understand which is the differential contribution of each member of your team, the differential contribution to the business, right? And which is also their real commitment with the project. Are they working? Are they also having another occupations? Are they really doing other things, or they are 100% devoted to this project? So just remember, when answering the question who, please remember that you may define which is the differential contribution of each member and which is the real commitment also the members of your team. Next question. How? Guys, this is really also differential. Investors like people who are really very hands-on oriented, right? What does this mean? I mean, when we are talking about how, okay, you have discovered a problem, you have a team working on that on your project, but how are you making the first steps? I mean, by yourselves. What have you done so far, right? So this is how you may define this. You may answer this how question. First thing, what have you done so far? Maybe you may also say which is your roadmap. What are you going to do in the next weeks, in the next months to develop the evolution of your project, right? Last question, how many, right? So I mean, numbers are the universal language of business. So try to translate everything into numbers. You may say, okay, we are the most efficient project trying to. No, don't say this kind of general words. Just translate everything into numbers. If my competitors develop the solution in 5 weeks, we can develop it in 3 weeks, right? Everyone will understand your value proposition with this thing. So, do you need money? How much money do you need? Have you made any numbers related to this? And also, which is your plan to get that money? Do you have alternatives? Have you talked with other people? Are you also trying to balance public money with private one? Say it with numbers, everything with numbers. If you answer to yourself in your room before talking with an investor these 4 answers, the what, who, how, and how much, right? You may really be ready to start a conversation with an investor.